Yo, what's going on, Donnies and Donettes? Come on. Another week. We're inside episode 7, cheese on bread. All right, guys, today I got a sick guest. I said to myself, I need to source a guest for my DJs, especially for my new ones that are coming up. And do you know what I've got? I have got a talent agent. A talent agent is fantastic. These people will give bookings for DJs, artists, musicians, all the time tunes, but they also book DJs as well. So I thought, why not bring on a talent agent and find out what do they want from DJs? So hopefully that can help someone out there. If you're trying to get signed to an agency or you're trying to be on someone's roster, this episode is going to be bang on for you. So you can find out what they are actually looking for when they're booking DJs. I remember years and years ago, I wanted to be on so many agencies, but I didn't know how. I used to send them things, I used to get aired and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just thinking, if someone was in my shoes, this episode is going to help you so you know how to approach an agency, what you need to do to get an agency, and yeah, man, get those bookings in and get that guala going. So anyway, let's not waste no time and let's roll this episode. Get into the VT right now. So, Afaron, how you doing, my bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Bruv, thank you. Bruv, it's a good start today. It's a great start today. Thank you so much for joining me today, man. We're gonna get into it. But before we get into it, let's just talk about how you doing. What kind of stresses are you feeling right about now in your current business at the moment?
Stresses?
Yes, just stresses.
What? Going straight to the deep end. All right, cool. No, I'm cool right now. There's not really stresses. I think, like I said before, that I'm in the next stage of just upscaling the business, upscaling the agency, and taking things to a new level, putting on events, trying to, fund projects, and obviously always looking for new talent, this type of thing. I've got a new team now, so things are just progressing in a different way now, really, to be honest. Yeah, things are good, man.
Well, that's the main thing. Growth. As long as there's growth happening and things are growing, I think that's the main thing. Because running business, running company, all that stuff can be hard and stressful. Do you know what I mean? So I think the fact that you're still in it, because as we know, like a lot of companies or businesses or brands don't last as long as they would like to last. So the fact that you're still here, having those stresses is better than having no stresses in no business running. So those stresses are good stresses to have, to be fair.
Exactly.
All right, so Afaron, let's start this podcast, but I would like you to talk a bit about yourself, where you come from, and where was your first influence into music?
Okay, so I've always been in a music family. Like, I've grown up in a music family, I should say. My dad's a keyboard player. My mum used to be a singer. So music was always, do you get me? Like, and my first love is drums. Like, I came out the room with drumsticks in my hand, ready to go. Like, I was just always banging on stuff when I was like 2 years old. And then I grew up in church background, so there was a lot of musicians I was around, a lot of touring musicians that play for big artists, especially even today. So it was just always there. And I think the transition from me being a musician to an agent kind of started at the age of like 16, when I realized I was like asking questions to some of my friends and like my dad and other people. And they're like, what's this touring life really about, like long term, innit? And then I gave pros and cons. And I was like, you know what? When I get to 30, possibly family, I'm obviously in that age range now. I don't have any family or girlfriend or anything, but I'm like, I know that $2,000 or whatever it is then at 16, traveling the world might be fun, or 20 might be fun, but when you get older, you got to have something to kind of fall back on.
Oh, 100%.
So, long story short, I went to university, studied music, business and studio production at Buckinghamshire University. Best 3 years of my life. And then after the first year, I realized, like, as a musician, like, when it comes to hierarchy of payment and stuff, there's so many other things you could do and get into other than just being behind my instrument. So I realized I could do A&R, I could be a music producer, do music for film, events promoter. I realized, there's so much more I can do.
So much more scope. Yep.
So much more scope. But the only thing I think at the time, because my university, the courses they were doing weren't performance-based, because I didn't feel I need to go to a performance-based university like Leeds College of Music to study stuff that I was kind of doing for free at church anyway. It made no sense. Do you know what I mean? Let me study the industry. And then, I think I said, you know what? I don't want to work for necessarily a record label, because they're all trying to get us to work for a record label. We have no experience, but yet you got 200 students from like thousands of universities across the UK trying to go for the same job. It makes no sense. And I realized I just had a heart for helping other musicians and other creatives in the university, and just said, you know what, let me make a business out of it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna make a business out of it. And then eventually the agency came into play, and then I started providing live entertainment for corporate events, private events, and weddings. And I've worked with different brands like Netflix, Bloomberg, Hilton Hotels, a bunch of different things. It's all on the website, and I've lost count. But yeah, it's all there. So that's basically how it went into it.
So you're saying, I heard you mentioned quickly, because actually, obviously, I've done a bit of research on you. I had to do some research on your brand and your company.
That's fine.
And I went back to 2017, and I think you had a post there. Yeah, it's proper stuff over here. It's proper stuff. And I think you had a post on there.
A very early journey. I'm thinking, bro. Yeah, go on.
So it's funny you said that, because I was going to bring it up, because I was going back to your first post on your Instagram, and it shows you behind the drum. No, there's someone else that you're highlighting, but I can see you're on the drums just in the back there. Right. And then I started going through a few things, and a part of me kind of felt like I could feel the church background when you were saying about the church background and the influence. Yeah. And it's funny because as you say that, as I was going through your story, I see on your Instagram, everything you've just mentioned, you see it going up through your page. You see it going up through your page. You know what I mean? You're around a lot of musicians, drums, singers, like you're around it, and talking about like obviously your mum and dad and what they're from. It shows that the banging on sticks from 2 years old. It shows that like music's kind of been embedded in you from way back then. But you skimmed on the point where you said 3 years of your life in university, and you said that was the most fun, like best time of your life.
Yeah.
Explain that, because I know a lot of people tread on university, but it sounds like you've got a different experience.
No, I had a completely, do you know what it was? Yeah, I took control of those 3 years, because I realized after the first year, I was like, okay, my mind's open now. They've taught us a lot within this first year about the industry as a whole. I'm learning about copyrights. I'm learning about all sorts of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, snap, like, there's so much more to me than just being a musician only. How can I use this to benefit people? Because I was like, this has got to be done. No one's doing everyone's going the record label route, but I know there's thousands of other places. Like, no one's really doing music for film. No one's putting on events. They are, but it's like the live event thing at the time. This is when like Labyrinth was hot and all these other early. Like this is when Funky House was at its highest, bro. This is
at its peak. Yeah.
Peak. So this is why it's like there was so much scope for like evolution in music and whatnot. I just thought, you know what, I need to find a way to use this gift and talent to help other people. And I was in studio sessions with some of my friends, making like random like EPs and stuff, which I hope never see the light of day, and Nardwar never brings it up. Like them. And then, I feel like, you know, ones when you get famous in your interviews, and you're thinking,
we found an audio recording from you. You're thinking, I beg you. I
was like, nah, don't even bring it up. So like, I realized, I was like, oh snap, I'm doing A&R. I don't realize I'm doing A&R. I'm telling the singer to do this, or I'm telling producer, change that bit or do it. So I'm realizing, and it's working. Then I'm bringing people together, because I remember on the last year, I was like, I need to put on an event. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be a different event, because most universities, they have like acoustic nights, this type of night, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, nah, I need to do something different. So I brought all my friends from the, like, within the course, or people that I met along the way in the university. I said, yo, I'm putting on a live event. I'm giving everybody a showcase to perform. You get 5 minutes or whatever. It could be backing track, whatever the case is. Let me know if you want to perform, and then you just go on and do your thing. Cool. There was also like a youth club literally 5 minutes away from the university, where you used to have little like live jam sessions with musicians as well. So I would talk to those people outside, like rappers would come in the community, because this is in High Wycombe, Buckinghamshire. So I would meet like creators outside university, told them about the event, and said, yo, I want you guys to come to the student union and perform at this event I'm putting on. So now I've got 2 sets of different types of creatives, both in the university and out of university.
Yeah.
The night was a hit, bro. Haven't heard, even now, people that were there were like, bro, that event you put on, nothing's
matched it since.
Nothing's matched it since, because I brought in live musicians from that jam session to come and perform. So it was like a mixture of, you had artists that had backing track, and then we actually had a rehearsal where you could actually come and perform like at the youth club, and then we did all performances, and then we just came and done it on the night, and it was dope. Things like that. I just used it to 3 years to experiment, and then even during that time, I was studying producers, just honing my craft as a producer. So I was studying Ryan Leslie, I was studying like Timberland, Pharrell. I literally would write down how they would like make their beats and stuff and
How
put it
they're
in my
making their
phone. Like,
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
used those 3 years to just yeah, that was it. So by the time the course was finished, I was like, you know what? I don't care what degree I come out with because I kind of know the idea of where I'm going. I'm not going to work for a label. I need to set up a business. But then after the first year as well, I missed out one bit. The second and third year, I used those 2 years to think about, okay, what is it I'm going to do after uni?
Okay,
What does it
smart.
look like? What are my three options? I could start a music tuition course because obviously I can teach music, like multiple instruments, and I know musicians, so I could do that, which I still do. I'm actually teaching after school classes, not me personally, but my business teaches after school classes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I set up live events, which I was like, I'm a student, I don't really have much money for that, so I can do it, but not now. I was like, I can have my own studio again, limited funds. Do you get me? Student finance ain't that much, so I need to set up an artist development company. So Momentum Music Talent Agency originally was an artist development organization before it was
Okay.
an agency. So I was
Okay.
teaching and helping independent artists build their brand and marketing and giving them templates on how to be successful as an independent artist who wanted
Gotcha.
to stay independent and not just follow the model of let me just go get a record deal and just get,
Get
squeezed.
signed and then just
Right.
do what they yeah.
So I did that for a little bit, and then it kind of just evolved into the agency because after I had consultations with these artists, all of them would be like, yo, bro, I need you to be my manager. And I'm like, bro, this is my 20th consultation. I can't manage all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Sit
Mm-hmm.
down and think, what am I going to do to kind of give them the benefit, but without necessarily tying myself too much to them? And then
Mm-hmm.
the agency kind of popped into my head. I said, oh, I can provide live opportunities without necessarily doing the music recording parts. And then there is no kind of like limitation to who I can represent then.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's basically how it started.
Okay. And that's how we started the big Momentum Music Talent Agency that you own and run now.
Yeah.
Okay, so because that sounds like, and obviously that was when you come out of uni after the 3 years of uni.
Yeah.
What is the time difference from then when you changed it from was it like a talent development company into
Yeah.
an agency until today? How long would you say that time gap is?
Probably, well, I started around, the agency started in 2017. I think probably before that, probably about a year and a half was 2015.
15.
And then well, the agency went through different stages. I started off as PR, trying to give artists free PR, and I was like, yeah, that's not working because I'm not getting any benefit from that.
I was just gonna say, like, when I heard the word free PR, I was like, that sounds good for up and coming, but for you, that's gonna be
In
difficult.
me, I was like, there's no point. And social media was just starting, like the whole Instagram phase and everything. People were starting to catch on because I was on Instagram well before it was
Popular.
and it was just for photos. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
started to evolve now around that time, and people were realizing what was happening. I was like, yeah, the PR thing's not going to work. Then, about 2015, 2016, it was all artist development. So I was, like I said, just consultations, templates, all that type of stuff. And then by 2017, I said, right, turn it into a talent agency, and then the rest is history from there.
Okay, so that sounds like, obviously we've got the agency happening now. Music is coming. I'm guessing, like you said, like you was managing at the time 20 different people. So now the question I've got for you is, what are some of the difficulties and some of the stresses that you've now seen running a talent agency? Because I know it sounds easy when you're saying it now, but in the back office, I'm sure there's quite a lot of things that some people won't understand until you mention.
It's a good question. I would say the difficult thing is that there's no specific way on how to teach you how to run an agency. I had to think myself. I did research because it's a very hush-hush type of field to go in because you're dealing with non-disclosures of certain people.
Yes, 100%.
With Stormzy's and the Ed Sheerans, you can't just out there just be saying, oh yeah, we got a booking for you. It's very non-disclosure. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that because it is actually a very simple process, like I'm not going to lie. Because what you're doing is you're just selling. You're the seller. You're the middleman. So you're your client or your entertainer that you're representing exclusively or non-exclusively to a client that wants to book them. The process is very, very simple. However, the back end, no one really, unless you work in an agency, you're not gonna know how it's
How it runs and how it's hard to, you have
But
to
it's
do
a
it. Yeah.
very simple process, so you could easily do it yourself. It's just you
Mhm.
understand there's a few quirks on how to make it unique, whether various things. But it is very simple. But no one taught me. I had to figure it out myself and what it took, and it took me like 3 years to kind of break it down. And I can show you what those. I can tell you what those 3 years were. It was very backwards because I was in marketing and branding. The first year, predominantly 2017, was working on the look and how it looked on the website and the brand and Momentum Music and da da. All now I haven't sold nothing.
Mhm.
Made one booking whatsoever. But people were like, "Oh yeah, it looks like you're doing something on social media. It looks like you're doing well." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." But I had nothing.
That's what you got to do. It's part of this. That's
part-
part of growth. Yeah. If you know what you're doing, that's how you do it. Yeah.
But I'm figuring out now, like, cool, with the type of like entertainers I need, blah blah. Which leads me to the second year, which was all right. Who are my target clients?
Yes.
In a whole year, I would say wasted, but it was learning who do I call, who are the clients, whether that be in the corporate world, who is the titled person or I need to talk to? Is it the salesperson? Is it the
Yeah.
marketing person? Is it
Mhm. Mhm.
I had to figure out who it was because I would get to the receptionist, I would ask them to pass the email on. Sometimes it wouldn't get passed on. Sometimes the furthest I would get to was a receptionist because I didn't know how to do sales. I was a marketing guy.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then, so I had to learn sales. So again, I went on YouTube, studied some American guys or whatever the case is, realized, you know what? Some of these American sellers that they're a bit too aggressive. We live in a conservative country. That aggressiveness, trying to force people to sell is not really going to work. So
Mhm.
I used to kind of take over here and then da. So that was the second year. By the third year, I had to get the system in place. So I hired a booking software system. I said, right, now I'm ready for sales. I need to figure out exactly, I just need to get everything automated. Instead of putting on an Excel spreadsheet and it's long, I need to get it in a place. So I went to go find some different options that are available, chose the best one for me, and then I still use it to this day. So over those 3 years, with no experience, that's how long it took me just to figure it out. If I went back in time and I had someone, all of that could have been done in 6 months.
Yeah.
But I had no help because no one knew. Do you get me? So I wasn't really doing anything until 2020.
Yeah.
I was ready to go by 2020 February. I hired or I recruited 4 booking agents at the time, trained them up within a month and a half, and we was ready to go. By April, I'm pressing the green button. What happened in April? COVID.
Lockdown. Yeah.
So I'm just like, this is mad.
So you had the website ready, you got the 3 new employees, you're ready to go, you're free, you got your target client pattern, the logo, everything's set to go.
Everything.
Let's crack on, and then boom, COVID kicks in.
COVID kicks in. No one's doing nothing. Events, everything lock off.
No way.
2021 did the same thing again because I had to let those guys go because I was like, we didn't do anything. Did the same thing again in February 2021. Hired people, got more experience on how to do that process, hired better people, said, right, we're going to go again because it looks like we might open up again. Yeah. April 2021, Boris was like, shut it down, we're doing it again. I said, like, you know what? I need to leave the team. I need to just focus on me becoming the seller and doing what I did. So from 2021 to 2022, I kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to work on what I need to do. By the time 2022 came, we had such a backlog of wedding bookings because it was on hold for 2 years. We made the most money in 2022 to 2023 because of wedding bookings.
And I think that's with a lot of companies. I think even with myself, like my bookings at that time were through the roof, like with a lot of companies and people. You had weddings on days that didn't exist: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like any day there was, and at the same time, people still want their birthdays. Corporate parties are still happening. Things are still happening. So I think for the entertainment industry, that was like a massive catch-up time, but at the same time it was also very difficult because there was a lot to do, a lot to take on.
We lost a lot of venues those 2 years because the venues were shut down. The government didn't really care, so a lot of musicians are trying to go to various organizations like Help Musicians UK, trying to get their little £500 for just for upkeep, because don't forget there's a lot of people that do this for a living.
Yes, it's not all hobbies.
We had a situation with Brexit now where it's like, oh, you can't just go to Spain and just get a booking
and perform. Yeah.
Now you've got to sort out the whole visa situation. That's the next thing. So it's just like for us as like entrepreneurs and creatives in the industry, those from 2020 up until 2022, those 2 years were very hard, you know.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh,
100%.
they
100%.
were hard. So it was very like, yeah, it was a big learning experience, but it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me personally, because
Mm-hmm.
at that point I was ready, and I'm like, now I can do weddings and stuff in my sleep because so much happened, so many good things happened, so many corporate events contacted us because we set our, I don't want to give too much away, but we set our agency on value and not price.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what that does for us is that makes us speak the same language as corporates and luxury brands, because they
Yeah.
understand what value is.
Yes.
We couldn't come in with cheap price, because I care about musicians, because I am one, and because I understand we just came out of COVID and a lot of entertainers do this for a living. I was like, you guys deserve the value that you get.
100%. I agree.
No one is getting undercut. You're paying the full price, the client's paying the
Yes.
full price, we're
Yes.
getting our full commission, and that's
Yes.
once we set that standard, we've had no problems. If anything, we've had a better, if you go on our website,
Outcome.
case studies, we've had more like pluses because of that. So
Yeah.
it's been a mad journey, bro.
Do you know what? I love a couple points that you mentioned there. That last one for sure. One of the things I bang on about, which I'm sure you've heard me say on TikTok, about DJs and wages and the stuff that and I always say with creatives, we set our own prices. It's not Boris, the government, none of that they don't say you are this and you must earn this. We set the price. Someone inquires and they ask a question, how much do you charge? And that reply is what you're setting your value at. And I feel like some DJs, and even other creatives, we look at other creatives and we say, okay, I need to charge what everyone else is charging in the market, when you don't have to do that, because what you offer is very different to what someone else offer. If you are a saxophonist, and what that saxophonist offers and what that saxophonist offers can be two totally different things. This one could be stringent in how it works. This one could be free flow. This one could be smart dress. This one could be casual. This one can drive. This one cannot. There's all these different things which then change the range of price. It's not just about saxophonists charge this price or DJs or singers charge this price. You charge what you feel value you offer. And I feel like that's one of the things I definitely want to break. Like one of the main reasons of this podcast as well was to try and change mindsets of DJs and all creatives, to be fair, and all creatives. So that brings me swiftly into my next question, Mr. Afaron. So I would like to know, obviously in your agency you've got violinists, you've got singers, I've seen that the library is massive, it's extensive. And I see we got DJs in there. We got the DJs in there. Now, I want you to tell the listeners and the watchers, you as a talent agency, when you come to recruiting DJs, what exactly are you looking for? Now, guys, listeners, this is the time to get your pen and paper out. Go on, Afaron, tell them, what is it you're looking for when you're looking for DJs?
All right. So before we even start, I want to start a bit, not on a negative, but on a downer. When I first started, I kind of stayed away from DJs.
Okay. Why?
And I'm gonna tell you why. Which
we need to know.
Mainly because I don't think they know how to brand themselves properly. Which I will give the solution to all of these negatives. So don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Branding is one, marketing is another. Understanding their value and undercutting themselves is another thing. But then also, not having the right equipment or not being fully loaded up with the right tech spec is another one.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We got some good points.
I'm talking about for all events, not just for the club.
Yeah, clubs, weddings, private, birthday, corporate.
Anyone can bring a controller and a laptop, plug into the PA system in a club, and you're good. But you can't do that at a wedding when the wedding's clean up in some like northern place somewhere, and all they've got is the room.
Yes.
And there, what are you gonna do? You can't plug a controller and a laptop because you don't have your PA equipment ready.
Yes.
So that's that. And also as well, I kind of stayed away from DJs mainly because they undercut themselves. When it came to me as an agent trying to sell the DJ to the nightclub, for example, the nightclub will turn around and say, this is the budget that we're giving you, and there is no negotiation. Because there's so many other cheap DJs that we can get. You as an agent, we can cut you out and just go to the guy that is the cheapest.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you guys don't need me, I can't really work with DJs the way I want to, because you're already cutting me out. And
You're setting it. You're telling me what. There's no
room
negotiation. There's no room for movement. It's just, yeah.
For a long time, I kind of had to stay. I had to like knock DJs like out of my mind and be like, I'll deal with everything else. And because right now, the weddings are fine, but even people just like the market is just so close to, I want the best value for the cheapest price. And I'm like, not when someone's put years of work and, you know, all these accreditations and stuff into
100.
I'm back to what I need from a DJ. Right, for me, like I said, now the positive things, I need good marketing. So your social media needs to be on point. What I mean by that, it needs to show.
I was just gonna say, yeah, give us some tips, because sometimes people hear that.
I'm
all right, cool.
Person with analogies and examples, so you're gonna get everything. So your content needs to be on point. So what I mean by that is that you're gonna have to have videos of you performing live.
Okay.
Number one, these are a multitude of things. This is what I tell my team. Either entertainers should show them performing live at the event. So get a GoPro, get a camera, get something that can show you performing, and then the audience enjoying themselves live, because that gives people an idea to be like, oh, I want that at my wedding or at my event. You're just duplicating what I want. Cool.
Yeah.
You can do something in your room, which is the easiest thing to do. Record yourself just having fun. I see people do it in TikTok all the time.
All day. TikTok do it all day.
And record yourself and pull it on a reel for a minute and a bit, doing different mixes or different whatever it is.
Mashups or remixes or whatever. Transitions. Doesn't really... Yeah.
Or YouTube. Simple as that. The only thing I would say with content, make sure it's visual. Don't send me, and this a lot of DJs used to do this, don't send me a mixtape. No one cares about the audio.
Do you know what? I have to pause you there. I have to pause you there. And the reason why is because back in the day, that's what people wanted.
I understand why,
but we've moved on from there. Yes, we've moved on from there. And when people like send me a mix doesn't, like, giving someone back in the day, if you book in a club, you wanted to do a radio show, you wanted to do anything DJ wise, you would send someone a SoundCloud mix, a Mixcloud link, 20 minutes, hour, whatever. But we've moved away from there to now it's visual. Everything is visual. Yeah. So if you're gonna send me a mix, I need to see you mixing in that video. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Actually.
Same with all entertainers. Don't send me the audio. I only care about the visual. What I'm selling to the client. Most of the negotiation point for clients is that if we see that it's good, that's 99.9% of like encouraging the client whether they want you or not right there.
Yes, 100%. And it's done in like a minute or two. It can be done.
So that's minor. So I need those content pieces to be consistent. So make sure you put them out weekly. Take a break, obviously, but if you know in a certain season for 3 weeks you're putting out regular content 3-4 times a week, do that, because the more content the more your client will go through the list and be like, oh, he does multiple genres. He does hip hop. He does R&B. He does drum and bass. Okay, cool. I like this. And then when it comes to me now, he's like, oh, at the wedding, me and the missus, we love drum and bass, R&B, hip hop, or whatever. Can you have a mixture of all of these? Because I can see your DJ does that. I'm like, perfect. No
easy, yeah. I got the guy.
So that's the other thing. I need, well, this is very important, legalities. So public liability insurance is a big one. Yeah. Got that. Because it covers yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
You. And since COVID, venues have become a lot more stringent on that. Before COVID, it wasn't a problem. But as soon as, like, I had to learn this myself. I was like, public liability insurance, like, where is this after COVID? What happened? What's this? Now they're telling me, no, we all need it, because every venue you go into, you need it. The other thing you need is a PAT test certificate. So this is a portable something test, basically, which checks all your equipment.
All your electricities, your electrics.
Blow fuses in venues. Go and get those. It costs like £50 up to like, I think it's like 10 or 15 devices you can check or something like that.
Yeah, it's very affordable. It's very affordable.
Electrician comes around your house, checks all your stuff. He's done within 10 minutes.
Yep.
On all the stuff.
Yep.
He gives you the certificate or sends it by email. You're good to go.
Good to go.
Simple. And get these, just Google them. It's very, very cheap. Just Google them. And the information I'm telling you now is what I tell everybody that asks me, look, I want to join the agency, because it doesn't matter who it is. I give them this information because people don't know. I wish I had people to tell me. So
Yeah.
Them.
You're right. When I first started, I didn't know about all this pat test certificate. I didn't know about all of this.
And a lot of agencies won't tell you this stuff. They won't educate you. Because I'm nice and I understand both creative and the business. I will tell you these things. I have no problem. So that's that. So the legalities, the marketing, the branding, try and set yourself up as a brand as much as possible. So people know you as DJ 24/7. Cool.
Yeah.
Other people need to know their name or whatever the case is, but set yourself as a brand so people know this is who this person is. You see it with DJ Khaled, DJ whoever, what, they all have their own brand. So your brand along with the marketing is very, very powerful. What else do I say? You need tech spec. Make sure you got the right tech spec. Make sure you've got your PA equipment. If you're driving, possibly make sure you're able to go to even different locations in that London, outside of London, whatever the case is. That's very, very important. Is there anything else? Song list. Make sure you've got a song list ready to go, even if it's not audio. If you can give people kind of like just a list of page of different songs. So one, like a Word document. So page 1, I don't know, 20 R&B songs. Page 2, 20 hip hop songs. Page 3, 20 drum and bass songs. And then I can send that to the client. They can look at it and be like, okay, I love all of this. They can just play all of this, because clients don't really care. As long as they can play the genre, they're happy.
So is that, because that's something I've never actually done. So that's quite interesting. So sending the tunes just on a Word document of like this kind of tunes you might play at preferred event, kind of send that to the client. For you to send to then send to the client, so the client has a okay, that's interesting.
You never use them songs again or whatever, but it's just an idea, because clients will always call me and be like, oh yeah, I ask them what are the top 3 genres of music you want to perform, and they'll be like, oh, I want a little bit of modern, or like, or they'll say the lift. I don't know why I did a voice, but it happens. Because I get a lot of brides calling me. That's why I get a lot of brides calling me. They will say either the type of genre, or they'll say a specific artist. So I know, oh, we want Ed Sheeran or something like Justin Timberlake or something. So I make a note of that to be like, okay, hip hop, pop, R&B, things like Ed Sheeran, Justin Timberlake. Or they might something like, oh, no, we don't want anything like Ed Sheeran. That's too much. We want something like Adele. Then I'm like, cool. But these are the detailed conversations that I have with clients to make sure they get what they want. I think that's everything off the top of my head. If there's anything else, you can ask me. But yeah, I think that's mostly.
So just to brief up for the DJs. So the marketing, things you was mentioning, marketing, and in terms of marketing, we're talking about like your social media and using visuals of you DJing, having what you're doing, to what the audience is experiencing from what you're doing, and you doing what you're doing on your social media. Then you spoke about obviously like your brand, having like your brand name, obviously maybe to go with your social media as well.
Anything that's unique about you as well. So if, like, for example, I was watching this the other day, DJ, is it Marshmallow? Obviously his thing is with the mask. The
marshmallow head, you can't see what he looks like,
Yeah, that's a unique selling point that everyone's going to know who he is. For you, it might be, I've had DJs that are musicians as well. So I might see a DJ who's also a saxophonist. So he'll scratch the tunes and then he'll play sax at the same time. That's a unique thing. Do you know what I mean? Try different acts as well outside of just the basic DJ setting if you want to do that. You don't have to if you want to. Also, another thing, if you can do collaborations as part of your brand with other musicians. So if you don't play any instruments but you can play but you know musicians, talk to a violinist, talk to a saxophonist, talk to some, you know what, we're going to do this genre of music, or we're going to do this instrumental, I'm going to play my stuff and you're going to do behind me. People want weird and wonderful mixes. That's what we want. Make something unique. Don't just go for the same thing that everyone else is going for, because it gets boring. People
100%.
Wonderful. And that's what makes my agency unique. I choose specific people that I know. You don't see that somewhere every day.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So things like that. Legalities, like I said, your public liability insurance and your PAT test. Then the main 2. Make sure you get your tech spec on paper as well, so you can send it to clients if you need to, because they might ask for it on the day. Your song list as well is a very important. And then there was one more. I can't remember what it was. I think that might have been it. Yeah, that's mainly it off the top of my head.
No, those are the main ones. And I think like if someone is not doing any of those or even some of those, just doing some of those and adding those to what you're currently doing can change the way people view you. I think one of the points you made that I think is really powerful is about it being unique, because when something's unique and different on social media, we stop. So we will stop and be like, oh, because it's like we've not seen that. So
Exactly.
I think it's a great idea, like you were saying about the collaborations. Like if they're struggling for content or struggling for that uniqueness, reaching out to someone who does like a musician, you're a DJ, you're a musician, and you're saying like, let's meet up and let's do some a collaboration video that obviously that person can advertise what they do and I can advertise. And the same thing, the reason why it might get more plays than the average thing is because it's something different to what other people normally see. So yeah, I think those things will help DJs massively, because I agree with you. I believe DJs don't market themselves as good as they could. I know you have some that will be like, oh, you know, I might be introverted, I'm not really the most outgoing person, but there's still different ways around it. There's still 100%. Different ways around showing your skill and your talent without having to maybe have you heavily involved in the content. I think it's good as well for DJs. One thing I see this with quite a lot of companies, showing what you look like. And if you're an introverted 100%. Person, you can just take a picture. You don't have to be posing, you don't have to be doing anything fancy. But I think like one thing clients struggle with as well is that when they are looking for DJs, they can see someone's equipment, they can see someone's doing a great reaction with the crowd. You're like, oh, this looks amazing. But I don't know who the person is. You could book them all through email, and then when they come on your day, someone comes to you like, who the hell are you? You're like, oh, I'm the DJ. And you're like, oh, when really I should have known who you was from when you walked in the door. So I think like putting your face out on your social media or just letting people know what you look like is also a good tip as well to add.
Absolutely right. And this is the last thing, probably the most important thing, which I've missed out, which is very important.
Go on.
How your fees and your packages.
Oh.
Yeah?
Yes.
Important one. I've seen this so many. It hurts me.
Go on. Tell him, my friend. Tell him.
Undercutting themselves. And this is just because of lack of experience, or maybe you're not a salesperson, whatever this is. I get it. But it hurts me when I see that you're undercutting yourselves and I know you're good. You're really talented and you should be paid more. So what happens is that most DJs or most creatives will have one set price for everything. Hurts my heart when I see this.
For everything? What do you mean?
So for example, I'm charging £150 an hour, whether it's a private event, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a corporate event. You've already undercut yourself. Does that make sense? You should 3 separate prices. I'm giving you mad game now. 3 separate prices, for those categories of events. Yeah, write it down, it's all good. So for example, because the reason why I say that is because you have to think in the terms of you're a salesperson as much as you're creative. So what a corporate can afford is not what a private or a public person or B2C person can afford. So the prices have to be different. If you know you can charge, say, £1,000 at a corporate event to play 3-5 hours, you know someone who's going to be at a wedding or a birthday anniversary or a party is not going to charge, is not be able to afford that because general public. So you might want to charge 375 to 400 quid on that, for example, for 3 or 5 hours. But don't be having one price for everything. Because you've already undercut yourself before you've even started, and I see it all the time. And then the other point is, and I tell anyone that wants to join the agency, I'm like, today's price is not yesterday's price, isn't it? It's the truth.
100%. 100.
I'm like, when you join the agency now, what your undercut price is, we immediately double it.
Delete that. Yeah. And that will never. That price is gone. Yeah. It's gone.
When
we don't do that price.
It's gone. Because the agency is about value and not price. And when you start under this banner, it's the same thing. Everyone that comes under this banner is the same. And only if you pass certain requirements. I'm not going to have anyone, unfortunately, who's not talented on there. But whoever's on there knows. And it took a while. It took a while for them to be like, you know what? I'm not used to this. I'm a bit scared because you're scared to lose the client. I get it.
I get it. We've all been there. We've all been there.
But if you don't, I've had to let some clients go because I told them, and I'll give you another free game as well. I told them, if you can't afford it, I would encourage you to increase the budget, or we will have to find something, a package that works within your range, yeah, that's already set up based on what my client has sent me. Other than that, my client is not coming out the house for less than blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing it. I'd rather lose it because it's about value. And if you're not for me, if you want to go for a price, if you're on a price thing, go somewhere else. The cheapest way or the best way to find out what a client, how to get the right price from a client, when they ask
Yep.
you, can you send your packages and stuff to save you wasting your time, ask them, and this is going to be a gold mine, ask them what their budget is.
But that's when you're talking about corporates.
No, across the board. When you ask them, what's the max budget that you are willing to spend on a DJ? And you don't move from that question until they give you an estimation.
Okay.
It's in range. I don't care what it is, because then you'll be able to see in yourself whether you're wasting your time or they're the right client for you. If they say, oh, I've got a budget of 700 quid, you're like, cool, I can work with that. I don't have to take the whole 700, but I know these are the packages that it's affordable within the range that you've given me. If you're telling me I want a DJ for 4 hours for 200 quid and you know you charge 400, then already
it's a pointless conversation. Yeah, it's a pointless conversation.
Sending an email. I've done it before as an agent. I'm not, and when I first started, I'm not wasting my time. So ask the client, okay, what's the max budget you're going to spend when it comes to live entertainment, especially for me as a DJ? Then you can decide whether, like I said before, if it's below, you can say, right, I would encourage you to increase the budget because our prices start from blah, blah, blah.
ABC, yeah.
I understand that budgeting requirements and stuff may be a little bit of because you gotta be grace, like understanding at least. So you understand that, okay, fair enough, you may not have the budget, but unfortunately this is what we can do. Yeah. The best way to know majority of the time if a client is able to have the money or not is when they book you.
Okay.
So booking, my agency, I tell them, or I tell my guys, if there's a wedding, for example, that is less than 6 months in advance, it's very unlikely you're going to have the full budget for me to pay for the wedding or for the because you're asking me to book a DJ 6 months from now. If you're asking me a year, I know you're going to save up for the budget. So I can give you it with not a problem. But if you're asking me, we're in August now, if you're asking me in September, I know already you're asking about price and not value. So I've learned that, okay, it's also about the timing of when the event is and when they ask me. Is it within that 3 month window? Is it within that 6 month window? Because majority of the time, if it is, I know they're trying to look for the cheapest option. I'm probably like the last person to call on their list, but I'm not lowering my standard because
100%. No way.
Right. So that's a little trick that I've learned along through the years of just me doing that. But price is very important. So make sure you send your packages, 3 sets of packages, a private package. And when I mean private package, it can be anything from B to C. So it will be parties, anniversaries, nightclubs, anything that the general public will probably want a DJ for. Garden parties, rooftop bars, them type of things. Weddings, we know what weddings are. Yeah, cool. Corporate events is anything that a corporate company is going to book you for. A separate price, which is higher than the other two because the is more. They have the budget for it. They can afford it. Make sure you get the best quote you can for it. And also as well, to kind of give you a guideline on what that price is, put the prices based on, or the value, I would say, the value.
Better. The
value is based on what you've done, your accreditations, where you've performed, who you've performed with, if you've had any awards, nominations, all that stuff, because it changes what if you've been on TV shows. I don't want to name names, but certain TV shows that, you know, certain people have got talent, or this certain idol or whatever. One's there. Like, if you've been on those shows, use that as a way to kind of boost your value.
A benchmark, 100%.
Because a lot of people don't say that. They undercut themselves in like, but you've been performing, you've been on tour with this person.
Yeah, you've been on this channel, you've been on this, you've done that. Like, it's on your social. Like,
why are you undercutting yourself at the Shoreditch nightclub for 200 quid when you just got paid £1,000 to go on tour? It makes no sense.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. So
I'm like, well, that's how you base the price or the value, I would say, of who you are as an entertainer, or what you've done, who you are, what stages you performed of, any accreditations or accomplishments or certificates or anything that you have to show that, okay, I am of a professional standard, because that changes the game for you as a whole.
100%. Massively. Do you know what, Afaron, yeah? I want to ask you a question. Why do you think DJs don't value themselves as much as they should?
I think as creators, we're very emotional people as a whole. It doesn't matter what is.
I
So
agree. I agree.
Which is fine, but this is why representation is important, because creators just want to think about, what am I getting paid? When am I getting booked? And then how much am I getting it for? And then I just want to focus on just being the creative. I don't want to do the sales. I don't want to do sometimes even the marketing, because depending, you might be an introvert person. I just want to focus on those things, which is fine. But there's in today's age, as an independent creative, you kind of have to have a mixture of the business and the creative, and kind of combine the two, and have a knowledge and an understanding of how it's going to help you, because you if you can't do that, get a manager, get a booking agent. They can help you.
They can help you 100%. And like you were saying about the representation, when someone else speaks for you, and if someone understands the business a bit better than you, they can bench you for a much bigger number. And
100%.
usually, when they bench you for that number, their price will be included in that. So it can be a benefit for you to have a representative, because their money will be in the extra that they're going to be able to charge, and which will increase your fee. So your lower end will be better. Let's just say you're a DJ and you're charging £500, and this guy's able to say we're $850. He might give you $700 while he takes the $150. So now you're up, he's up. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for everybody.
And it boosts your confidence as a creative so much, because now you're able to be like, this is my standard. And then another kind of, not trick, but kind of sustainable thing that I use with my entertainers is that if you get booked consistently for, let's say, 3 months, and every weekend you're out, every weekend you're getting booked, in my head, I'm like, you as an entertainer, your price then goes up again.
100%.
Another percentage. Again, today's price ain't yesterday's price.
Ain't yesterday's price.
Because your demand today is different from what it was yesterday.
Yes.
So
yes.
I work on sustainability and growth. Money is always changing hands. That's fine. But I only care about sustainability and growth, and making sure, in some cases, even more cases, that I care more about my entertainers more so than my clients, to be fair. I won't tell my clients that. But
no, of course not.
You know what I mean? But I really, because my heart is for them, because I am one of them. And
yeah.
Like, when you're doing it as a day-to-day, you know this, bro. When you're doing livelihood and you're good at it, you should be paid the value that you're worth.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah,
I think one of the things that make you quite a good agency is the fact that you've been there, wore the t-shirt, wore the shoes, lived in them. Like, you know exactly, everyone that comes to you or works underneath you, you know exactly what they're going through, so you can empathize with them. And I think, like, even when you was mentioning about the care, how much care you give for them and how much you respect and value them, I think some people have been part of agencies before and they don't feel that, because they're part of like a cash cow. Per se, you know, you got some of the agencies, they won't really care much about that. They're just trying to send people out, fill dates, and take percentages. But you're doing it in a bit of a different approach, where you're kind of educating them in certain areas to make sure that they're delivering the best service, and then you can then advertise them in the best. And then it's, once again, it's a win-win for everyone. It's definitely a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, so those are the things I would definitely need to kind of sell any entertainer. Don't be expecting to get a booking like tomorrow, because it doesn't always work like that, especially if you don't have the content and the marketing and stuff in place, because people always want to see more. So as much as you're doing your work on social media, that helps me do my work and my team's work when it comes to selling and pitching you to our various clients and people. Do you know what I mean? And it's a win-win on both sides, because whether they get the booking from our end or from your end, especially if you're an exclusive entertainer, it's still coming to us, and we still look after it, and we still, you know, help you with the opportunity. So yeah.
Okay, nice, man. All right, as we approach the last few questions of the show, obviously this is called the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast, and I would like to know from you, Afaron, what do you think DJs can learn from listening to a podcast like this?
We've spoken a lot. I've given bare free game today, boy. Because normally I would give, this is the stuff I would say is exactly what I would say on the phone to anyone that is calling me. So I would say definitely find an agency that works for you. Understand the difference between exclusive representation versus non-exclusive. The difference between the two is if you're exclusive to one predominant agency, they will do everything for you when it comes to admin and liaison. Non-exclusive is that you're with multiple different agencies and it's a kind of free-for-all game. You just got to make sure that your diaries are not double booked or whatever. People think the more agencies you're with, the more bookings you get. That's not necessarily true, because I've got both non-exclusive and exclusive, and I get more bookings from exclusive than non-exclusive entertainers. Why? Because they're doing well on their content. In their bios, in their Instagram, it says for bookings, contact Momentum. So whether they see the content on their social media or from our social media or from our website, we get in from 3 separate views.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Don't think, oh, let me just go around to all the agencies. And no, find ones that you know you can work with that have your best interest at heart, and then work with them. And then also, if you need to go on I have a 3-month kind of probation, indirect probation, to see if we are in working relationship with most of our entertainers that are just starting off. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. My door's always open, because like I said, my job as an agency is not like a record label. I'm not here to own you. It's to provide opportunities for live and, well, in the music and entertainment industry. That's between us and an agency. We're not a label. We're here to provide you with live opportunities in music and entertainment and film and television. So, I would just say find the right people that work for you, and then, just use your discernment and just go for it.
Yep, 100%. Well, guys, there you have it, man. He's dropped so many gems. The amount of gems are on the floor, they're just glistening. If you lot don't pick those up,
and there's a lot more, but I just, obviously, timing and that.
Timing.
We'll do a second one.
100%. That's what I was even thinking with these pods. I know with most people I'm going to speak to, there's only so much that we can get in the time. So we're definitely going to have to revisit. But I think this is a great starter for the people listening, especially most of the DJs, there'll be something in it that they can pick and start adding towards their business to then get better. Another thing as well, like you said, you're open to obviously taking DJs and stuff like that on. So I think is brilliant as well is that you've literally outlined exactly what it is that they would have to do, whether they were to join your agency or if they was to join another agency, which gives them some homework that they can do and make sure they have all of those things in place before they even make the inquiry. And then once they do, they can have a representative. And I think a representative helps agency, especially if you're finding it hard or you're scared to drive your price, if you're not good at the admin, if you're not good with those things and you want someone to take care of that, then you can focus on just doing your creative, making sure you do the reels and making sure you have your legals in place, your certificates in place, and then they can have someone like for yourself on your company pushing them and then getting the work for them, and then everything else can run from there.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got on the website, I'm sure you put it in the description, there's a link to the representation page which explains everything that I've said today anyway. So educated you guys further and made it easier for you, so you're not just sending random stuff. I'm telling you, this is what I'm looking for. Whether you're predominantly, and there's 2 sides to the agency, whether it's for bookings, booking events, whether that be private weddings or corporates, or talent where you're actually an artist creating original music, because that happens as well. There's DJs that are producers out there that want to become their own brand and just be like, I want to be my own, say, K Tronada or whatever the case is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm able to do both. We're working on the talent side more because we've only just started opening that up over the last year, but we get so many emails from so many different people saying, I want representation, I want bookings on that side, as well as the booking side of things as well. So just send the email in, whatever you think is best for you, and then our team will look at it, and then obviously if you pass certain criteria, we'll give you a call.
Okay. Well, Afaron, man, thank you so much for being part of this podcast episode. Before you leave, if people want to follow you, see your journey, keep up with you, where's the best place to send them? Where would you like them to go?
Most likely Instagram. I have 2. I have my agency one, which is MMTA UK, which stands for Momentum Music Talent Agency UK. My personal one is Afaron_Gordon. But yeah, everyone is spare to catch me. If you want me for business and talk to me through the agency, if you want to talk to me personal stuff, then But
Instagram.
yeah, Instagram.
Well, 100%, guys. We're going to have all of those things that he spoke about inside the show notes. So make sure you go and give Afaron a follow and see what is going on. And like I said, man, you can see the things that he's looking for. And it's good to look at these things if you're not already, because you can kind of see where can you up your game. The main thing of this podcast, guys, is to make sure that us as DJs in the industry, I want us to come from here and I want us to move up there. But for us to do that, we have to take action and we have to do some of the things that we're speaking about in this episode and many more other. Afaron, bruv, it's been amazing, man. We're definitely gonna have to get you on for some more stuff because I know you was dropping those gems for free, but you've got some more in your backpack that we're definitely gonna bring you on in a couple of episodes so you can help the people then a bit more. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a DJ to tell a DJ, and I'll catch you same time, same place next week. Cheers, peace.